This is Hannibal here from the Hannibal TV on YouTube, and we're coming at you with another UFO interview. This is a returning guest. He is from Netflix Investigation Alien. He is an author. He is the president of Brazil's MUFON. He's one of the top researchers in Brazil, and he's got a new book out. Thiago Ticchetti, how are you doing today, sir?
I'm fine. How are you, my friends? It's good to be here again, and we have a lot of news to talk about it.
Yeah, it seems like every day there's more and more news coming out about UFOs, and the big one, which I got to ask you about, that is on everyone's mind, at least here in the U.S., is Three Eye Atlas. What's going on with that? Is that a concern at all for the people of Brazil as well?
Ah, no. Well, here in Brazil, we have all type of people that get scared and people that don't get scared. But in my opinion, it's a comet, different from all the comets that we know about it. In my opinion, the Oumuamua is much more stranger than the Three Eye Atlas. Uh, but here in Brazil, we don't think about it as well. Many people think that could be a alien ship, spaceship, but I don't think so. I think it's a comet, and we will learn more about it when he get closer to the Earth and Mars.
Yeah, well, the thing that had some people concerned is 2 weeks ago there were supposed to be some better pictures of it from Mars, but because of the government shutdown in the US, they're using that as the reason why they didn't show the picture. But of course, there's a lot of people saying, well, maybe they caught something that they don't want to show us, and they're using that as an excuse. So
Oh, that
October 29th, we're going to see it, right? It's supposed to come
yeah,
out that
yeah, yeah. Until then, it's a lot of we're gonna have a lot of conspiracy theories. So let's see what we gonna get.
And you have a new book out. Let's take a look at your website here, which is a pretty fancy website. Oh, I don't know what that's on there for.
Yeah,
It-
it's not updated.
yeah.
It's not
So which one
updated.
of these is the newest one?
Oh, the book, you have to go to Amazon.com and look for Thiago Ticchetti.
Okay.
This is my bio website, and this one's about the UFO magazine website. To
Okay.
find my
Oh, there
books,
you are.
yeah, that's me, my bio.
You
So to get my book, you just go to Amazon.com. This book is right here. It's like a brick.
Yeah, it's huge. Why is it so big?
I don't know. I think I wrote a lot because there's a lot of pictures. That's in this book. You have my investigation in Colares, Barcarena, and Belém in Pará State here in Brazil, when it was the opportunity to be with George Knapp and V to filming the second episode of the Investigation Alien on Netflix. So while the production was uh, fixing all the stuff, the cameras to start to shoot, I start to speak with people in Colares and Barcarena and trying to get new information, new cases, and also new information about what happened in 1997 in Pará State, the Chupa Chupa phenomenon, the suck phenomenon. So I got the very good testimonies, and also we got the new information, new sightings, new cases in Barcarena and also in Colares. So, well, the phenomena is not finished yet, but it's not the same it was in 1977 when the UFO attacked people, UFOs attacked people. What we
Right,
have
and this
now
is it
there,
here, right? This is
yeah,
the
yeah.
book.
And
Wow.
what we have there now, we have also people seeing lights in the skies, airships in the skies, but we don't have attacks. That's good.
Now, is that cover based on an incident that actually happened where people on a canoe and they saw something like that. Could you tell us a bit about that incident?
Yeah, the first cases were told by the fishermen. Well, they live in a fisherman village in 1977. Calari is a fisherman village, and they went to the sea, to the river, not the sea. It's not the ocean. It's the big river in Amazon, in Pará State. They went to the water to fish fishes to their own existence and also to sell it. And they start to be followed or scared by lights in the skies, lights or some kind of vehicles that arise from the water and go to the skies, or was in the skies and dive in the water. So this fishermen start to be very scared of what happened, and also this scenario just let the fishes away, so they are not going to fish, and many cities start to become like ghost cities. And this photo, this image of my cover book, is is based on one of the many hundreds of reports that the fisherman was in his canoe, their canoe, and that they saw a huge flying disc or a cylinder or a ball of light or a square, because we have 8 types of shapes of UFOs back in 1977. So the cover of the book show us a little more about what happened there.
So, what more did you find in your further investigations in this book that you found since the Investigation Alien Netflix series that you were on with George Knapp?
Yeah, we were in Colares in Humaitá Beach. It's a beach of the river Humaitá, and we were there. And I start to ask people if they were living in that city in that city 1977, and I found a elderly man called Francisco, José Francisco. He's about 75, 80 years old, very lucid, very clear in mind. And I asked him if he saw or heard something about the Chupa Chupa phenomenon back in 1977. And for my surprise, he said, yes, I was there. I was here. I mean, I was here in Colares. And in front of me, I saw a spaceship fire a laser beam in a old lady that stuck in her breast, opened her breast, and started to suck her blood. And when they finished that thing, finished to suck her blood, like a line up into the spaceship or the vehicle, something like that, the UFO, and while while this rays coming up was dropping, it was dropping blood in the floor. So that thing, we don't know what it was. It was like a light, a laser beam stuck, hit the people, and start to suck the blood. And while he's coming up to the UFO, starts to blink, to drop the blood in the floor. And Mr. José Francisco told me, I saw it in the front of me, and I also saw a UFO get with a light a bunch of sand that was in a beach. So that UFO just showed up a laser beam and grab in some way, somehow, a bunch, a portion of the sand of the beach and just flew away. This was one of the testimony that I got from 1977.
What do you think it was about Brazil that the incursion of the UFOs was so violent there with the blood sucking everything? Because you don't hear about that really. You hear about terrible abductions, but you don't hear about whole towns being devastated and the military having to be called in and stuff like that.
Yeah, there's no explanation. We don't have this kind of cases of events of attacks in anywhere. We have some fightings between uh, UFOs, aliens, and people. We have some fightings in Venezuela in 1952, in 1954 in Venezuela, in Argentina, where in Venezuela where two truck drivers fought with three aliens, just like monkeys, but they wear a helmet, a rounded helmet, but they had uh, not skins like hairy skin, very thick.
We've
And
heard
but we
about
don't know.
those for a long time, haven't we? Those hairy ones. John Lear even talked about those when he was still alive.
Yes, in 1952 and 1954 in Venezuela and Argentina, but we never got in like this. What happened in Pará State, in Maranhão State, from August, September of 1977 to May of 1978, we got a lot of these cases of attacking people. The main, let's say, um, the most terrible events occurred between September and December of 1977. We had also some attacks in 1978, but it was not so uh, huge, not so many attacks in 1978. 78. But we don't know why Brazil, why this happened. That's a question that we don't have an answer.
What about pictures? Where was there a lot of photographs around this time, or were these villages so poor that a lot of people didn't have cameras?
Yes, we have a lot of pictures because one, the newspapers, the journalists, the reporters, the photographers of several newspapers in that region, in Pará State, in Maranhão State, they started to investigate also what was happening because many people are reporting seeing UFOs in the skies and diving in waters of the rivers and arising and getting out of the waters. So the reporters went to the field. They went to investigate, and they were witnesses of these UFOs. And also, we had the Operation Plate, a crew of Brazilian Air Force militaries that went to Colares to also investigate and determine what it was. And they started to speak with the witnesses. They start to make camp to trying to see something, and they did. They also did. They saw the UFOs. They took photos of the UFOs and they filmed the UFOs also. But what we have now, we have more than 200 of photos of pictures from the militaries and also from the journalists, the reporters. But we don't have so far the films, the 20 hours of film of UFO that the military they made these films, they shoot the films. What we have pictures of the frame of the video, one of the video at least one of the video. So we know, and also the Captain Holanda, they told to AJ Jevert and Marco Antonio Pichi that no, yeah, we filmed 20 hours of UFOs in many occasions. So we're still looking for these films, but we have photos, more than 200 photos, but we are very sure that there's much more photos.
And you mentioned about the ability of these beings to paralyze uh, people that they before they hit them with the beams that suck the blood. They're somehow able to paralyze them, and we hear about this with lots of different types of aliens. Is that just a thing that they seem to have the ability to do? Do you think that's like a telepathic thing where they can paralyze people, or are they shooting them with some type of weapon that prevents them from being able to move?
I think the people got more than paralyzed by something. I think the people got very surprised, and in many occasions, the person when they were attacked, they were sleeping, so they didn't feel nothing. Just when wake up and at the end of the attack, they felt something in their neck, uh, and start to scratch, and it was very red. It's like something like a insect bite, but they got paralyzed not because, in my opinion, not because the aliens or whatever uh, use it against them. I think they got more surprised, and also the people when they got attacked, they got very lazy, tired, sick, that they couldn't move. So probably many people say, "Oh, I was paralyzed," but it's not paralyzed per se. It's like a child cannot move, cannot walk, and we have a lot of reports like this.
Yeah, because we hear about that happening with dogs and stuff too in some of these abduction cases
In
around the
abduction, yeah,
world.
yeah, in
Yeah.
abduction, we have a lot of cases. Not in this case that happened in Colares, we don't have abductions. We don't have abductions, but we know that in abduction, many abductions, you are in a bed besides of your wife or husband, and just you wake up, and your husband or your wife keep sleeping very heavy sleep, and they didn't notice that you have been abducted at that time. So this is one of the characteristics of the abduction, but not happen. This is not happen in that cases in Brazil.
What do you think these beings were that came? You mentioned they were hairy, which we don't usually hear about very often. That doesn't sound like the typical gray alien. Do you think they were from somewhere else that doesn't usually visit, that came here for a specific reason, got what they needed, and then we haven't seen them as often since? Or have you heard of more recent reports of beings that look like this doing other invasions around the world?
Well, I wrote 16 books. One of my books is about alien typology, and I studied more than 5,000 cases. Uh, five 500 5,000 cases, yeah, 5,000 cases about the UFOs and contacts, and I discovered that we have at least 72 types of aliens that were reported since the on-site times to 2021, my last updated of my book. I think that we have more than one type of alien visiting our planet. And what happened there in Colares, at least once, the people saw two short beings inside a UFO. It's like a cylinder. It's like a wall of this cylinder was made by glass, so the people could see what was inside that UFO, and they saw two small beings maneuvering something inside their ship. But the rest of the cases at Colares and Barcarena and Belém and other places back that time, they didn't see anyone, any entity inside the UFOs or around it. So I think probably some people think that, well, they're just a guided airships, flying saucers, without any intelligent inside the UFOs. I disagree. I think that there was a pilot, there was a co-pilot, something like that.
So what would you call these types of aliens? Is there a name for them? Are they're not, they don't sound like the Nordics, they don't sound like the tall whites, they don't sound like the reptilians. What would you call them?
Well, that too that people saw in Colares, they looks like the Greys. We're talking about the figure of the Greys in 1977. The Greys just started to get attention of the media, of the people, of the productives from the 80s. Before it, the most cases were reported by the type of Nordics, you know, tall, blonde, just like us, humans, like Adamski, Meyer, Billy Meyer, and people that saw this type of aliens. From there, we from the 80s, we start to have the grays, and then start to have the lizards and the insects and
Is
uh,
it true that the
but
insect ones are supposed to be friendly? Because I've heard some people say that even though we would think that they look like insects, that they'd be mean, they're supposed to be one of the friendly races.
yeah, depends what you think about friendly. If you are abducted, I think it's not nothing friendly. The grays, they don't smile. They looks like they have that big black eyes like a white shark. There's no life in that eyes. But the abductor said that when the gray look at you with that big black eyes, they can calm you. I don't know why. I don't know how. I mean, I don't know how they can calm you with that big black eyes and look at you. But and people say, well, the insects are very they're not friendly. But some people say, well, they are friendly, and people say, oh, the lizard are not friendly, and some people say they are friendly. So I think is I think that in the interpretation of everybody, in my opinion, none of them are friendly. Once they get you from where you are to do something, and then bring you back. Sometimes they never bring the people back. So, in my opinion, there's no friendly at all.
Do you think there's been cases where people haven't been returned?
Yeah, there's a lot of cases, mainly in the 40s and the 50s. A lot of cases that people haven't been returned. We have that classic scene that the Spielberg's movie. Uh,
Close
how?
encounters?
Yes, yes, Close Encounters of third type, third grade. That at the end of the film, the alien, the big spaceship, start to release or to let free many humans that were there from decades. So we don't know, Devin. We don't know. To be very honest with you, we don't know the reason today to do that. So it's something that we're still looking for because we feel we were raised, we born um, with them in our mind that we are the supreme species of the universe, and we are not. In my opinion, we have much more intelligent uh, beings in the universe, and for them, we are just like lab rats, and many people don't accept that. But face it, they come here and come out of our planet. They do what they have to do, and we cannot stop them. So what else? What else we can do? Nothing.
So, what do you think their intentions are then? I know they all probably have different intentions. Do you think, as we've heard Tim Burchett say recently, that there could be 5 or 6 underwater bases somewhere, that some of them have bases here? Because this seems like a pretty nice planet. Like, why haven't any of them taken over the planet, or have they, and we just don't know about it?
Well, if they wanted to take over the planet, they could do any time, and they could do it in the past. Now we have some modern weapons, but still they are much more advanced than us, and they could take over the planet easily, in my opinion. Uh, they probably use the oceans because we know much more about the moon than the oceans, and third quarter of our planet is by water, made by water, is underwater. My opinion, they are here for several reasons, including DNA experiment, collecting DNA, or just to come here and see if their protocol has been followed by us. Some people believe that they created us like a DNA change or a DNA evolution that they create us. So we have a lot of theories, and we cannot rule out any of these theories because we don't know the truth.
Yeah, because we hear that there is some hybrid type situations. It doesn't seem like they were in that Colares case. It doesn't seem like they were taking any sexual eggs or sperm or anything. It seems more like they were burning people and
Yes,
taking blood.
taking blood, taking iron from the blood, and then we don't know the reason. In this book, you're gonna find many cases of that, many cases, and also you're gonna find a lot of pictures of it, a lot of pictures, the color pictures
Yeah.
of
Are
the
those bite
UFOs.
marks?
Sorry?
Are those bite marks or like
Yeah,
marks
yeah,
from
yeah. Let me show you one. Mr. Aurora, I spoke with her, and she was attacked by one of these right here. I spoke with her. That's me and her, almost 40 years later. So she got, let's see, bited or sucked by a big orange light in the sky, and she passed away. She fell, and she wake up in a hospital, very tired, very dizzy. And when they sent her home for several days, doctor went to her house to ask how she was, and she was taken some weeks to recover because she cannot explain what happened to her. And the doctor said, well, we know that she was attacked by the shupa shupa, the suck suck, but we don't know what it was. We know that she got anemia. I mean, the suck her blood, and iron from her blood. So she got sick.
Yeah, that looks very painful. So this was 1977. So the news of this wasn't traveling really to like the mainstream of the United States, right? Because news traveled slow back then. When did the rest of Brazil start to find out about this? Because this was not in Rio de Janeiro, right? This is like some more secluded town.
Yeah, it was in it happened in the north of Brazil. back in 1977, in the middle of the jungle. Many cities were in the middle of the jungle. So if you want to go from one city A to city B, you must take a boat, 3 4 hours by boat. There's no road to go there. There's no airport. There's no, you cannot take a helicopter and land it because there's no place clear to land it. So in 1977 it was very difficult to get there, and we just know about it because the reporters and the newspapers of the biggest cities in the north of Brazil. In Belém is a capital of the Pará state, and in São Luís is the capital of Maranhão state. So the reporters and the journalists, they start to write articles and also uh, public publish photos, and the rest of Brazil start to pay attention about it. But only in 1997, I mean, 20 years later of 1977, that Javert and Petit spoke with Major William Jolanda, who was the leader of the team of the Air Force team that went there to investigate. He was the leader of the team, and he called AJ Javert and asked, "Well, I have a lot of things to talk about the Operation Plate." Well, the Operation Plate was not in 1977, it was not a secret anymore, because Bob Pratt went there and spoke. Bob Pratt, the investigator and journalist, he went there and spoke with Wiranger, but his book was sold only outside of Brazil, just in English. We had no information, a lot of information here in Brazil. So in 1997, that this case emerged again with stronger, because Wiranger gave to Javert and Marc-Antoine Petit documents, official documents and photos of what happened and what they collected, and they took the photos. So from 1997, the case started again to go to all of the country in Brazil and around the world with new photos and new documents.
When did you first hear about it?
Oh, I think it was 1997, 1997, 1995, 1997, something like that, because I moved to Brazil in 1995, and I start to investigate UFO phenomena. I liked it since I was a kid, but start to investigate, properly investigate. I started when I moved to Brasilia, and I heard about this a little because my father was a Brazilian Air Force pilot, and he spoke to me in one or two occasions about this case of what happened in Pará State. But I was so young. I was young, and in 1995 or 1997, that I heard about it, and I started to get involved and started to get more curious about it. And I went there. I investigate. I read a lot of books about it, wrote books about it, and for me, it's one of the best cases ever in the world.
When you talked to your dad about it, since he was an Air Force pilot, was he taking it seriously, or was he thinking, oh, something happened there, but it wasn't aliens? They must have been confused about something.
No, my father told me that something happened. He never told me that it was an extraterrestrial. Never. He liked the subject. My father liked the alien and UFO stuffs, but he never told me, claim it or confirm it, that what happened there was from extraterrestrial hypothesis. No, he never told me that. But he knew that something strange happened there.
Gene is asking, and I think it is true, that Brazil turned much of the investigative file over to the US. Why would they have done that?
Because Brazil, there's no intention, there's no resources, there's no interest to keep it, to investigate. And many of the documents of the Operation Plate here in Brazil we sent to United States. And also during that time, we know that some agents from CIA or FBI, they came to Brazil, they came to Pará to investigate and also to collect information to bring to United States. In my book, I tell about a secret agent, a Peruvian that went to the newspaper in Pará, telling them, "Oh, I want to be a journalist, so I want to be stay here to learn with you." And the journalists, they they got a suspicion about him, and they got his confession that, well, yeah, I'm from CIA, I'm here to get information to bring back to United States, and that fake journalism just disappear and they never heard about him again.
What stopped the attacks? Did they just stop on their own, or was it increased military presence in the area?
No, they just stop it. They just have by their own. We don't have uh we here in Brazil we didn't do nothing to avoid it, to stop this. We have the big crew was leader by the Wirangé Holanda. It was Wirangé and 3 or 4, 5 military soldiers or recruits or corporal or sergeants, and he was a captain. We don't send the Brazil didn't send much a bigger group to investigate. No, just that few people that went there and investigate. In 1978, we had another group that went there to investigate, but it was 2 or 3 people, militaries, and the case is what's so not intense like it was in 1977. So why it that stopped it, we don't know.
So the American military wasn't there yet. It had already stopped by the time the American military came.
All the militaries the militaries and the agents from the uh,
CIA.
CIA or FBI, they went there since the beginning. Since the beginning, we have some reporters from military that saw Americans together with the Brazilians in a headquarters here in Brazil, talking about it, and we had some testimonies of people from the city that they heard something. They heard people speaking a different language, different from Portuguese, and they were with the Brazilian militaries in Colares, for example. So I think that military were the American military, the U.S. military from uh, were here since the beginning, since all the facts started to pop up. They came to Brazil and start to investigate.
Was there any other countries that sent officers, like anyone from Russia or China or anywhere, or was it mainly just the US?
No, no, because in 1977 we are in the middle of the Cold War, and to be a Soviet here in Brazil is gonna be a big mess because Brazil was ally of the United States, and China in 1977 it was a rural country. There's no technology in China. They had the boom from the 90s. So just Americans were here. And in my opinion, just Americans allow it to be Americans here.
I understand that this past May, the government of Brazil declassified about 900 UFO files. Have you gone through these files? I assume you've gone through some of them. And is there anything new in those that is interesting to this case?
Now we have about this case, the Persian plate, we have more than 100 and 1,100 documents in the Brazil National Archive. You can access, well, if you're Brazilian, you can access on a website, or you can come to Brasilia and go to National Archive here in Brasilia. You can find it. But from 1997 to nowadays, we didn't have any new document about it. Uh, in my opinion, I think the all documents that we have here in Brazil, we have already. Uh, the photos that we have in Brazil, we have it already. We what we are looking for, the films and the rest of the the photos, and also we know that the medical reports of the people that were attacked by these UFOs, these medical reports just disappear from the hospitals, from the hospital in that time. And also, uh, we have Carlos Mendes, a journalist from Brazil, that he investigates the whole scenario since the beginning. He's a journalist from the Pará state, and he told us, and he wrote a book about it, uh, that this medical reports were also sent sent to United States. And I asked to George Knapp about it, if he knew something about the documents, the photos, and the films, and the medical reports. And he told me, Thiago, I don't know, but maybe my friend Bigelow, maybe he knows about it.
Is there situations of men in black type people in Brazil too, or is that just an American thing?
No, not like United States. We don't have a like case of Men in Black here. We have case that people got pressure by militaries just keep quiet, but they were wearing uniforms like militaries normal, not Men in Black. In Virginia case had some pressure to the under the three girls that saw the one of the entities. And but in Operation Plate, like I described in my book, there's no Men in Black uh, type of pressure or menace of the witnesses.
Is there anything new about the Virginia case since that James Fox documentary came out a few years ago?
Well, I don't know if I can say it, but James Fox was here last week investigating. Also, James Fox is a very good friend. Uh, his documentaries are amazing. His documentary about the Virginia is stupendous. It's one of the best ever. I watch it, and I think they get some new information to come to Brazil. To Brazil next year in 2026 is gonna be the third anniversary of the case. I will be in Virginia to make to attend a congress about the Virginia case. So I think that we're going to have more information. We are looking for more information to release in a ceremony to celebrate this date.
What's going on with the congressional hearings in Brazil now? Because I hear there's also hearings like there is in the U.S. there.
Yeah, in September 16, we went to the Chamber of Deputies here in Brazil. We were in a commission, and we had the opportunity to talk about ufology. It's an official commission. It was an official hearing. So we had the opportunity to talk with the deputies and people, the audience, and demand ask our demands like freedom of information. We the first thing, also the matter of national security, because we have UFOs coming in and coming out from the Brazilian skies. What was that? It was if it is not our airplanes or something like that, is something that is invading our space. So we we looking for it. Well, Brazil, please, we have to take care about it. We have to learn what was that. And also, for many times we asked using the FOIA, the Freedom Information Act, we have here in Brazil something similar. We asked for documents and we didn't get an answer. And it is a crime here in Brazil. If you use the law and ask for information, the militaries or the government, whatever, they must send an answer saying, "Oh, we didn't find it, or your information is incorrect," but they need to answer it, and they are not answering it. So it's a crime. So we went there to explain how the ufology around the world is dealing with it. I gave example of what's happened in the United States, the hearing in the United States since 2022. And we demand for information. We demand the disclosure of the documents and cases and photos and videos. And Deputy Chico Alencar, he got our idea. He embraced it, and he said to us, "Well, I think that we need more hearings, but the next time, let's call the militaries, let's go the government, let's call scientists, let's call more people that think just like you, the ufologists, and people that doesn't think just like you. So let's have a hearing of many types of opinions to trying to get a point, because it's very important to Brazil. I think, in my opinion, it's very important to Brazil to get involved with this subject."
And what do you have to say for the people that believe that those Colares attacks were some type of government ops or tests by the United States uh, to test various new equipment on a rural place in Brazil because they knew they could get away with it, or there was some secret deal with the government there to do it?
Well, these people need to learn more about the case, because if it was an experiment, a social experiment, where are the ships that came in and came out from the water? The ships that had more than 100 meters of length, the ships that sucked blood from people. We have more than 2,000 people, 200,000 people, 200,000 people that saw a UFO during that time, at least one UFO, 200,000 people. And we have more than 2,000 people that have been attacked by those UFOs. So if it was a social experiment or military experiment, something like that, where are that technology that don't have almost 40 years ago? Where are these ships that can dive in the water and fly in the sky with no problem to change this environment? So I think when people say that, I think you have I think you must read my book. If you read my book, you're going to change your mind, because there's a lot of evidence, not just a writing. That's a study, a research of what happened there. There's a newspaper covers, there's photos, official photos made by militaries with all information, the names
Those
of the
are
military, the
UFOs
names.
in those pictures?
Yes, both.
Wow.
And made by militaries. These photos are made by militaries and have a lot of cases. Look, this one.
So those are
What was it?
declassified.
They were disclassified because Major, Capitano Iranje Holanda, they gave us these photos, and we showed the the Brazilian military as well. We have the copy of these photos, and they release it because we have already a copy. So and Brazilian never denied what happened in Colares. Never deny it. They have no explanation for that. What we're looking for is not uh, her here. They're saying, "Yeah, we understand this is true. What happened there was true. We know that it was true." What we demand is a disclosure of the documents, the photos, the videos of the operation plate. And in my book, we have a lot of evidence that something happened, and we need all the information because the Brazilians, we have the right to understand. We have the right to know what happened there.
Why do you think they haven't released the videos? Is it because the US got them and they're classified now?
In my opinion, because we don't have the videos here anymore in Brazil. Well, we have some options. The first option, they keep the videos in secrecy. It's a crime, okay? Because we demand it. They lost it or they destroy it. It's also a crime because they need a protocol to do it. So it's a crime as well. If we send to United States, where are the protocols to send it? If we don't have the protocols, it's also a crime. It's a military crime. Or some people got it. Some people from the army or the air force or the government got all these videos and photos. It's a crime also because this material belongs to the people. So in these four options, all the options, a crime were committed by the Brazilian government and the army and the air force. So I think they are not here. I think they are United States or destroyed by some reason.
Is there anything they could have done differently for that? I know the technology was a lot different and the alien technology was so far advanced, but were they just screwed that the aliens were going to do whatever they wanted to do, or is there something more that they could have at least attempted to do? So, as you said, 2,000 people were directly affected by these beams, and 200,000 people saw it. So, is there anything that could have been done to minimize the people affected by those actual physical
No,
issues?
no, we could shoot back, try to destroy them, but we have no technology, and it could be worse. Here in Brazil, we have an order. In the Brazilian Air Force, we have an order. The militaries have an order, a command: never shoot back or never shoot a UFO because we don't know what will be the response, the answer, the reaction. So what could be done? I don't know. I don't know. Send more militaries to the area to do what? To shoot back? To try to capture? There's nothing to do. That's why I said that in many occasions we are just like lab rats. We cannot do anything if they want to make experiments on us. So that's it.
Has there been cases where they've shot back and paid for it, like we've heard about Russia has George Knapp, your friend there, released some of those Russian files where Russian military jets had shot on UFOs and ended up with severe consequences. Was there anything like that in Brazil?
No, not in Brazil. Brazil, we don't have any kind of militaries shooting back the UFOs or aliens. So we have in Iran cases, we have in the United States several cases, we have in Russia several cases, but here in Brazil we don't have any case of shooting back a military uh, shooting back a UFO.
Did you guys have any issues with drones last year when everything was happening last November and December in the U.S. with the drones? As some people say, it could have been Chinese, but other people say there were some of them that could have possibly been extraterrestrial. What are your thoughts on all of that?
Well, I think that it was all drones in the United States, New Jersey, New York, and some facilities, military facilities in Europe. In Brazil, we don't have this kind of invasion of drones. We don't use drones like a military way that used in the United States. In my opinion, what we had in the end of 24 was drones, and well, wow, we had more than 5,000 reports of of UFOs, drones and UFOs in the United States. But we have to understand that we have some very difficult cases to explain. It's correct, but in many cases, in many films and photos, you can see the shape of drones, the lights of drones. What happened is that there's no answer from the government. There's no answer. The Air Force didn't know what happened. The the governor of the states, they didn't know what happened. The FAA didn't know what happened. So people start to get
They claim
worried
now
about it.
that it was the FAA. They claim now that it was all FAA approved, but some people like Tulsi Gabbard there from the FBI are saying even she says she doesn't believe that.
So there's, I think, a lot of people saying different things. People start to fly their own drones to record that UFOs, and also people start to look at the sky. People that never look at the sky, because we use it to look at this. We pass hours of the day just looking down, and then people start to look into the skies. They will see something that they never saw before, like satellites, like Starlink, like drones, like airplanes, like a helicopter, and they cannot make a difference between a UAP or a UFO to an airplane, to a helicopter, to a drone. So that's why people start to report thousands and thousands of sightings. But in my opinion, also, again, 99.9% of all of the sightings in 2024 in this drone wave, in my opinion, were drones. We have a zero point 0.1 that could not be explained, but it not means that they are extraterrestrial. No, could be anything. So let's see. I read news that in a summit, a military summit, Enterprise said, "Well, what we saw in New Jersey was our drone, just like the size of a car." And there were many reports of UFOs just like the size of a minivan, a car. And this enterprise, this company, just show it at a summit, a military summit, a drone just like this, the size of a mini car, a van.
For sure. So do you think everything's going to pretty much remain the same, or do we have to worry that one of these species of aliens is going to try and get aggressive again? Because it hasn't happened in a big way for a while. We still hear about abductions, not as much as in the past. But are we pretty safe as far as you think for now?
Well, I think that we are lucky so far. As said Stephen Hawking, if you're looking for some extraterrestrial civilization, perhaps they are looking for you back. And they could be more advanced than you, aggressive than you. So it's gonna be a problem to us, like Independence Day. It's like the rival, like the day the day of Earth stood. That I forgot the name of
Yeah, Day That
the
Earth Stood
movie.
Still, but yeah, it
Yeah,
seems
yeah,
because we're going out there now more and more and putting all these satellites that that might interest them a bit more than in the past.
yeah. So far, the visitor that we have, they just they came here to do what they have to do. They didn't take over the planet. They make some experiment. They hurt people. They abduct people. But so far, or at least we think that they are not taking over the planet. David Jacob thinks different from me, but so far we are lucky.
And do you think that there's actual bases here, that some of these species might have bases?
I cannot say that they don't have, because they have a technology to go under the water and also in the sky, and we don't have this technology. And we have parts in the oceans that are so deep that we cannot go there, that we don't understand, that we never research, we never study that places in oceans. So if I was uh, a different civilization, an extraterrestrial civilization, if I had to hide, probably I would be in the oceans.
Have you seen this new movie that's supposed to come out November 21st with like 33 different US people from Congress and so forth and military people, where they're supposed to reveal more than ever before about what's going on with UAPs? Have you seen anything of it yet?
Yeah, I saw a trailer, and I think this movie is based on reports and the hearings of in United States. Well, this documentary, this films, could be a a big deal to ufology, but also could be a disaster, because we don't know what happened in the movie, and if we started to create something that's gonna be out of something not so rational, something very weird, people's gonna laugh it. So, well, I don't know. I will watch. I will watch,
Yeah.
and then I let you know.
Age of Disclosure, it's called, and it's supposed to be in some theaters around here too. So maybe your son can watch it too, because he's in the
Yeah,
U.S.
yeah, yeah. He's not fan of the subject. He's the soccer fan and judo
Okay.
fan.
Oh, there you go.
But maybe I will watch here some Netflix or just a channel and some streaming.
Very good. Well, we appreciate you having you on again. Where can people buy your book? Is it ufo.com.br?
To buy this book, you go to Amazon.com. You can find it. Just look for my name, Thiago Ticchetti, or UFO Attacks in Brazil. Almost 400 pages with full of information, new cases, new reports. Just me here and George Knapp at Humaita Beach. So you will have a lot of information in this book.
Very good. I'll let you close this off with whatever message you want to tell the fans. Thank you.
Thank you, Devon. So, guys, thank you very much. You must learn that the Brazil has a lot of UFO cases, and we are very concerned that the Brazilian government and the Brazilian militaries, they still keeping information from us. We are demanding the disclosure, and also we're demanding the right to know. The Brazilians right have the right to know what's going on, what is going on in our skies. And we ufologists of the Brazilian Committee of Ufologists here in Brazil, we are looking for it. Thank you very much.